Dear Leader by Jang Jin-sung, read by Daniel York. Translator's Preface. I first met Mr. Jang in June 2012. He had come to London to take part in Poetry Parnassus, hosted by the South Bank Centre as part of the Summer Olympic Games. A Korean studying in England, I had been asked to interpret for both North and South Korean representatives. As I waited for him to come through at the arrivals hall at Heathrow Airport, I looked at my phone to check the photograph of him I had found on the internet. In it, he was dressed in a dark suit, smiling a little and looking up at the camera under the curls of his black hair. When he walked into the arrivals hall pushing a luggage trolley, his hair was dishevelled, and he looked half submerged in his navy blue suit. His white cuffs poked unevenly from his jacket sleeves, and his light pink tie did not sit quite straight. We exchanged greetings in Korean, bowed and shook hands. As we walked to the car, I pushed the trolley. He opened the door of the black van for me and held out his hand to steady me as I climbed the steps. When we set off for the South Bank Centre, he hung a camera around his neck, while I prepared myself to make conversation. I pointed out London sights for him as he snapped shots and admired the landmarks. Among those buildings I pointed out was the MI6 headquarters at Vauxhall Cross, and I took my chance to break the ice between us. Apparently, this is where women who want to snag a James Bond type hang out. Suddenly, the rather formal atmosphere between us evaporated, and he burst into laughter. He said that if those women ever found out that real spies were just people like him, they might stop waiting and go find themselves a proper man. By the end of his stay, we had become friends, talking easily instead of in the formal manner of those from neighbouring nations who had become distant strangers after half a century without contact. Even today, North Koreans are not permitted to communicate freely with anyone from the outside world. Not by email, not by phone, not in person. It doesn't help the media portrayals of North Korea, based on an outsider's perspective, focus on the inscrutability of its system, the strange dynasty of Kims, the endless heavy boots marching in line, or the uneasy prospect of its nuclear arsenal. There is far more to its people than the public shows of mass obedience and hysterical tears. The North Korean experience is a complex and dysfunctional relationship between a system and the people ensnared by it, of which Mr. Jang is a unique witness. Not only did he live at its heart, but he escaped from it. In this book he ends his account in 2004, and some things have changed in North Korea since then. Informal and illegal marketization from below, rising from the ashes of North Korea's economic collapse in the mid-1990s, has continued to impact significantly on the nature of social transactions conducted between individual and state. The purge and execution in December 2013 of Jang Sok-taek, uncle to the current ruler Kim Jong-un, made headlines across the world. The graphic accusations against him were published in a very public manner by being broadcast on state television and released quickly to a foreign audience, and the incident was noted for breaking from the past in many ways. But these events did not occur in a historical vacuum, and, in order to make sense of North Korea's present, you have to know its past. Particularly, you have to recognize its persistent dualities between words and deeds, propaganda and reality, and the manner in which these dualities work for the outsider versus the insider. Without an appreciation of this, North Korea will remain inscrutable and our exchanges cyclical. Mr. Jang was not a politician but a poet, and this is precisely why he is intimately familiar with the regime's myth-making, and why his memoir is about the dismantling of facades. The outside world's approach to North Korea is based on many deceptions, for which all sides are responsible, and on which the status quo depends. Mr. Jang's escape from North Korea really began when he realized, I was restless with the yearning to write realist poetry based on what I saw, and not loyalist poetry based on what we were all told to see. It remains impossible for an outsider to gain access to the state's internal workings by doing business with or making trips to North Korea. Not only are there strict layers of control and hidden power structures in place, but proxies and agents are deliberately disguised as prominent insiders whenever North Korea deals with foreigners and presents itself to the world. It has also long been thought that no defector can speak with authority on the workings of the system, due to its highly compartmentalized nature.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?